Yo, what's happening, man? Y'all already know we chill talk the podcast, man. Another episode. This time, man, we done went way out to Cali. I'm talking about we way out west in Cali. I got my brother Drasmatic in the building. Drasmatic, what's going on with it, man?
What's good? What's good? My name is Drasmatic. I'm a sample hip hop producer based out of Texas, now relocated, transplanted to the Bay Area. What's good, Joe?
Yeah. So look, man, how long you been doing your thing, Dras?
So I don't want to go into too much storytelling, but I started making beats at 19. I'm 36, started rap at 13, 12, 13-ish. Uh really stopped rapping around my early 30s and just continued to produce from 19 all the way to my current age. Just continue to sample records. For instance, records like this,
Yeah,
sample jazz, soul,
yeah.
running laws, get into jazz, soul, funk sampling, and just make beats. And I use the MPC, SP404, et cetera. Just being creative, making my own space.
Ain't nothing wrong with making your own space, man. I know when you sent me the record, I was like, yeah, I'm feeling this. Cause here it is. We live in a world now where everything is different. And it's different, but it's good music though.
Mhm.
So like kind of explain that a little bit, like the genre and the type music that you do versus what we regularly hear on a regular day basis.
So me personally, I'm not part of the mainstream. I know some fans aren't familiar with the difference between mainstream and underground and independent, but I'm more of a conscious hip hop head. I'm more of a conscious underground hip hop head. So the song that I sent was by Mike and Nine, myself producing. It was called Third Eye Gems.
Yeah,
And basically, we're more lyrical. Underground is more lyrical, more poetic, more soulful, more inclined with lyricism and thought process. And that was a direct reflection of what we created. I believe the concept that we created was using the third eye and talking about the third eye and humanity versus technology. That's not
yeah,
like a mainstream type of thing, whereas it's not like that club hit that you hear in the club. It's more of a laid back, chill, conscious type vibe.
right,
And the energy that I release is that conscious energy, that thought process, that
right.
intuitive thought process, the format of thinking, which is more what reflection of the music that I create and the music that I'm into. So if you've heard
Mm,
of artists like Mos Def, Talib, like I would say Black Thought, like The Roots, like
yeah,
out the early Outcasts, like
yeah.
Questlove, like
That's your lane.
that's my lane. Jay Dilla, Madlib, all those creative type artists that have paved the way towards a new creative type, intuitive type of music that I
Yeah,
grew up listening to as a kid. Because as a
right.
kid, I was not feeling the mainstream. I'm telling you, I was like, I was like, this music is catchy, it's good, but
Yeah, I was
that
about to say. I was about to say, explain that a little bit. That like, cause I know your type of music that you do. So like explain why you wasn't feeling the mainstream, and then I'm thinking that's what made you kind of want to go underground because you wasn't feeling the mainstream.
so a lot of what the music was in the mainstream was I don't know if I can cuss or not. Is it all right if I use language? The bitches, the crack, the money, the sex, the drugs. It was repetitive. There was no positivity going into that type of music, and I got sick of it. It's like at the time when I think it was about my high school tenure was about 2006 to 2007, 2008. It was D4L, it was Laffy Taffy, it was them franchise boys, and the beats were watered down. The music wasn't popping. It was about club hits. It wasn't the music. The lyrics weren't all that compared to today's mumble rap. The lyrics in the music wasn't. It was geared toward the youth, but it
Yeah,
had no substance. There was
yeah,
no message to the music. versus artists like Mose, like Talib, like for instance, even Micah. There was a message to the music that we're saying something. There's volition, there's meaning. Versus the music that you're on the radio is about stripping bitches butt naked. It's not. It's not about anything besides just sex. It's like it's there's no substance, there's no actuality, there's no visual, there's no besides sexual. There's no
Yeah,
visual, there's no meaning. So
yeah.
that's the reason why
It's not giving you nothing to think about.
there's no thought. There's no thought in the music. It's just music that's when you hear the melody, dun 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 dun, dun laffy tap. It's like you're not coming like this. You're not sampling the right like Ronnie Laws, or like you're not being creative. You're not using your mind and being creative.
Yeah,
And a lot of the music that I at the time, all the music that this is kind of the black culture thing, is a lot of the people that were influenced by the Wayne, by that type of music, they were in and out of jail. That music influenced black people to want to go to jail because the streets in the ghetto, they were like, well, if Wayne's selling crack, if they're selling crack, I'm gonna sell crack. I'm like, nah,
yeah,
that's not the right thing to believe, the right thing to do. But the music influenced the young folks to do the same thing that the rappers did.
yeah,
And the rappers
yeah.
weren't doing it in the first place. It was just a
And they
message.
wasn't even doing it in exactly. That's
And
what I was
they
about to
believed
say.
it. You're right. And they believed
Yeah.
it, and they ended up going to jail because the
And they
rappers
ended up going
were
to
selling
jail.
dope.
And that rapper, he free and
Right.
he ain't never been to jail.
Right. And he never went to jail because he did that early in his life. He let that ghetto influence him to make that type of music. But in the reality of it, he's not doing it anymore. He just raps about it. And then
Yeah,
you're thinking that the rapper's doing it, but in reality, he's not. He ain't doing that shit anymore. He moved on from his life. He's making
yeah.
money now.
He doing something totally different.
Right.
And here you are doing 10 years behind something he said 10 years ago, and he ain't even that same person.
Exactly. And he's like, he totally up and changed. He's like, I'm a made man. I don't have to go back in the trap and sell drugs. But
Yeah,
there was a positivity behind the conscious music, behind the underground, the independent music. Like even there's even I will at least even independent artists like Big X the Plug. Like he had a positivity behind his music, saying he came from the trap, but he made it to the top. There's positivity behind like Outkast and UGK. They start from the bottom and they made it to the top, and that's kind of the direction of thought process, is how did he become successful versus the thought process of, well, I'm rich now, like the Charleston dude, like all these names. I'm rich now, and I don't have to do anything because I'm making money. I can rap about selling crack and selling drugs, but the reality is that's the difference between mainstream, independent, underground, is the message, the overall message in the music and what they say, and the meaning behind the music.
yeah, yeah. That's dope, man. That I like the way you. I like. I definitely like the way you put that. Let me ask you this: how is the underground scene in the Bay Area?
Oh,
Um,
it's
like
popping.
far as is the DJ showing love? Do is the underground
Hold on, you froze for a minute.
getting shows, promoters?
You froze for a minute. Hold on.
Yo,
Did you repeat that?
I said, I said, explain to me like how it is in the Bay Area for the underground scene, independent. It's all kind of the same thing, kind of what my heart is. But I want to know how it is in the Bay Area because I ain't never been. So like, is the promoter showing love, or the underground artists they getting shows, or is it a pay to play type thing? Because I know in a lot of cities it's pay to play. You know, as long as you paying, they gonna play it.
Okay, there's multiple things going on. There's big scenes like there's big artists in the underground that have been around in the underground since the 90s, like hieroglyphics, like even some of independent as far as E40 and the original, even though he passed away, rest in peace, Mac Dre, even though he passed away, the original Zion I, who are big time underground artists that come out of the Bay Area that are able to go internationally and global. There's certain organizations in the Bay Area like Hip Hop for Change, as far as rappers, as far as producers, Today's Future Sound. There's organizations that work with youth, that work with the young people, that also book shows and venues opening for the bigger acts. For instance, for a Hip Hop for Change show, they might bring in Devin the Dude, and they might bring in some Hip Hop for Change artists to perform with Devin the Dude. So there's artists that are come across the entire world that the bigger artists travel to the Bay Area, and Hip Hop for Change might host a rapper or a producer like Battle Cat, which is Flip a Beat Club out of Sacramento, DiBiase. They'll bring in artists and producers, and they'll perform, and they'll bring in some lesser known artists to open for them. So they're this popping. I mean, people were coming across the entire world to the Bay Area
Yeah,
and just perform with these artists.
yeah, yeah. Cause here it is. I like I said, I never been, but I do know that the underground scene is real big in the Bay Area.
Oh yeah, it's big, and Los Angeles,
Yeah,
and Los Angeles, and also it's not as prevalent. I come from the South; it wasn't as big in the South compared to the West and East Coast. But there was a excuse me, there was a lot of artists that came out of the West Coast that people respect from the South, but they're not.
got you.
But the underground in the South wasn't as big as it was on the West and East Coast. But
Yeah,
there were some big time names that people like. I'll list some more names. People like Pigeon John. People like Freestyle Fellowship. Living Legends like Murs. Like I would say even Lyrics Born, Black Alicious. They built a cult following over time by just hustling in the state of California, and they traveled and did shows, and people respected them. They loved the shit out of their music. They were all
yeah,
over the place. They were
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, yeah. That's big, man. I gotta come out there. I definitely gotta come out there to the Bay Area, man, and rock out with you. I gotta come to one of those shows. Cause I know for a fact those shows, I know those shows be lit, bro.
Oh man, they're crazy. They're crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Are they do all the shows be in clubs?
A lot of them are in venues, like huge music venues, like the Mezzanine, like 924 Gilman, like
Yeah.
they even have the New Parish. They have big time venues, indoor outdoor venues. The biggest show that I personally performed at was Battle Cat, and that was Snoop Dogg's producer. There was an indoor outdoor venue, and they had a huge mega screen up, and there was two stages.
Mm,
I mean, personally, that was. Well, I think the crowd size was about seven. I would say about 700 to 1,000 people. In the
that's
South, you
big.
don't. Yeah, you don't. It's for underground hip hop show. That's crazy numbers. Like
Yeah,
in the
that's
South,
crazy numbers
yeah,
for an indie showcase. So did you perform at this showcase?
yes, I did. I performed subset. I performed with Flip a Beat Club, which is under DiBiase. So DiBiase is the leader of Flip a Beat Club, along with Mons Rock. And what they do is they facilitate for young producers to come and perform, and also they work independently with producers in their set. They call it 404 day. So every 404 of the month, what they do is they set up some tables, they set up some equipment, and they procure a sample. We have to chop that sample and make it into a beat. And what this is not just in the Bay Area, it's on Zoom conference. What they do is they have producers lined up from all over the world: Toronto, Dallas, Los Angeles, Austin, New York. They have all these producers coming through Zoom. They curate three samples, and all these producers, probably about a list of about 400, 500 producers across the world. They
Right.
have to come in and chop these samples, and then they showcase it one by one based upon where they're located. It's like, all right, Toronto, let's go. Let's see what you got. All right, in Seattle, let's see what you got. They're doing some crazy off the wall stuff. I mean, it's
Wow.
incredible what they're doing, and I
Yeah.
think they're the future of the industry as far as beat making.
Okay.
And some of the rappers, what they're doing, this is Hip Hop for Change. I just did a Hip Hop for Change battle actually on Wednesday.
Mm.
And one of the
How
members,
did it go?
I personally, it was cool. It was cool. I got to the second round, but I was doing it just to showcase a new style that I'm trying to do, and I did it for fun as well. But one of the members of Rock Nation was there. Rock Nation, Rockefeller, Jay-Z. He
Yeah.
was there. Also, Overcast, Mons Rock of Philly Beat Club was a host, and Unknown the World, who's been in Times Square, was the host.
Mm.
And they brought in some producers from the entire Bay Area, and I made it to the second round of that battle. And Baron Davis showed up there. It was for NBA All Star Weekend,
Yeah.
so they're doing some huge things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible how the amount of people that were there. That was at San Francisco City Music Hall, and
Okay.
they're just tearing it up. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff happen in the industry, but what they're
Yeah.
doing is monumental. I think they've done things for Harvard University, MIT. They've done things for all types of schools all across the world, and
Yeah.
they're just
We need to get them down south.
oh yeah, you definitely need these southern producers to get up there, boy, because
Yeah, because
you
that'll
know their style is impeccable. It's impeccable.
yeah, that'll be hard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that'll be hard. That'll be hard. That'll be hard. So in other words, too, you produce and you're an artist. You make music too. You rap too.
I do not personally rap. I stopped
Okay.
rapping at 32. I just stuck to production. I used to rap from 13 to about 32. I started producing from 19.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Okay.
What made you just say, all right, I'm gonna just stick with the production side. I ain't rapping no more. Like what made you just come to that conclusion to say you weren't gonna rap no more?
I think it was after there's multiple reasons. After seeing some of the bigger artists, like the artists that I mentioned in the underground perform, I look at them, I'm like, wait a minute, am I really cut out to rap like them? Because they're gonna be asking me to rap and freestyle. Am I really up to that par of emceeing to rap? I already know how to make beats, but one is I don't think I'm that talented of an MC compared to being a producer. As a producer, I understand more concepts than being a rapper. I graduated music production school and got an AA in music production and an AS in IT. So I'm like, I get the production value, but I don't really understand the MC value. Plus, I'm more skilled in one area than another. Another thing is when I work with Micah's one of the. If you look at his resume, he has a Guinness Book of World Records as far as having the most vocabulary in a hip hop, as far as using the most words.
Mm.
Also, I work with Sunspot Jones, and I also work with Elronius, and I'm just starting a collaboration with the Logic out of Ohio. They're the more profound rappers who have been around since the '90s, even some early 2000s, '90s, and that opened me the paveway to produce for them because I stuck to one area versus trying to do everything at once. So I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to sit here and rap and make beats and be subpar versus sticking to production and improving that production versus trying to rap and not be that talented rapper and not be that talented producer. I can learn under DiBiase, blah, 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 and so and so. I can learn under Today's Future Sound, blah, 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 and so and so. But I think production is more suitable for me because that's a better area for me to be in.
Better area.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's even a good thing and a smart thing too on your behalf, even just by realizing what your strength was. You know what I'm saying? Like having enough pride to be like, you know what, this is what I'm good at right here.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think strengths and weaknesses. It's like I could have the fix, because in some circumstances, a lot of rappers and producers have the fixed mindset. Man, I'm the best producer. I'm the best rapper. I'm the best rapper out there. But I'm looking at with the growth mindset. What can I learn about production? What can I learn about MCing? What can I learn about this person's style? What can I learn about this how to sample using the SP404? How do you sample using the MPC? What can I learn? Versus saying, well, I use Fruity Loops and I'm the shit.
Yeah.
Like, nah, you got to learn something else. You got to produce 8, 7, 7, 9, 10, 8 different ways. You got to
Right.
sharpen your sword. You can't just produce one way and think
Yeah.
that's all I know. You
Yeah.
know.
So was you producing first or rapping first or how did it work? How did it go?
So I started rap at 13. I was a small kid coming out of Texas. I wrote my first rap at age 13. I
Wow.
think the first rap beat that I wrote over was the year 2000 Exhibit X. That's the first rap beat I rapped over. I was this young kid. I'm like, I'm a super young, and I'm just trying to figure myself out. It's like, I'm learning about rap because I watched the battle rap on the internet, and I wanted to be a rapper and all this other stuff that generated me into forming a rap crew when I was in high school with these two students. And we formed a rap crew. We were rapping and doing trying to book live shows and releasing records. I had this record called The Last Letter when I was a freshman in high school. That
Yeah.
translated to me being more political, talking about I have released another record, rap record, when I was 18 called Straight Coonin', which talked about what I was talking about a minute ago about mainstream versus underground, like the coon movement, like G for L, Laffy Taffy, and all that shit. Then I
Yeah.
wrote, then I went to music production school in Nashville. Then I was 19. Transferred, went to the Bay Area, went to music production school at Delaware Valley College. So when I first went to Nashville, I learned production at 19. I learned how to use MIDI and how to make beats. I learned how to use Reason, Logic, Pro Tools, and how
Yeah.
just the basics of production. When I transferred and I graduated, I got into sampling, I believe at around age 30, no, excuse me, 28, 29. I learned how to sample records. I learned how to chop, flip using Serato. Then I got into the MPC. I got to the MPC Renaissance, MPC Live 2. I learned how
Yeah.
to filter with the 404. I got more advanced and I linked with other people. When I linked with other people, that advanced me to learn even more skills as far as mixing and mastering, as far as mixing vocals. So I progressed and I learned different things, and I'm still learning different things as I continue to go on.
Mm.
So I that led me to from being a small kid at 13 all the way up to being 36. Production grows with time. It does You don't start sampling at 13. It's like, yeah, I don't never
Yeah.
heard a producer sampling at 13 unless you're like Jay Dilla or something like that. You don't hear producers learn sampling at 13. The right age to learn sampling is about 26, 27.
Right.
So that developed over time as far as my skill set and what I was doing. And the beauty about it is I'm going to these vinyl record shops like Grooveyard and Amoeba, and I'm buying all these records and I'm sampling, and people were knocking these beats out, booking live sets, booking live shows, traveling. I've done shows in Bay Area, Dallas, Greensboro, North Carolina, Los Angeles, San Diego. I'm doing a show in Portland in May. So I'm traveling, learning new experiences, meeting new people, and just collaborating. Well, not collaborating with artists, but also networking with artists, learning what their craft is, and learning from them just by going online or talking to them, or you know, just doing different things in order to build my skill and build my craft, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I definitely can see you doing big things in the underground industry. You definitely on the right path. You definitely got your head in the right space. I definitely can give you some points on that. Your head is definitely in the right space on just being where you want to be, because you meet a lot of independent artists and they don't even really kind of know what they want to do, where they want to go. They sound like somebody already in the industry, so I commend you on that, bro. That's big, man. I commend you on that. Just by knowing what you want out of this. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
That makes sense. And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I have a goals in mind. I'm like, I'm building over time. It's like when I was 13, you know, it was like, you know, the cute little kid. But at 36, it's like, okay, I gotta get serious. I gotta start hammering. I'm be honest with you, I've knocked over about 600 beats out total. So I'm like, I can go back and I'm still getting streams, still getting plays off the beats I first released. I'm like,
yeah,
I wasn't that talented then, but you also had me, you know, 100 streams a week on my first release. It's like the new shit is so much better, you know. But the early stuff is still getting plays. The Micah tracks, the Sunspot, also the collaborative artists with Summer Man, Voltaire Slapadelic.
yeah.
They're talented rappers, and you know they're out of the Bay. Moved up. Voltaire's from Virginia, Houston. I'm from Texas.
Okay.
Some man's originally from Oakland. I collaborated with them, produced for them. His wife Amani Jade. Um, I've they've over time they've built their empire. Amani Jade and Summer Man. They
Yeah.
collaborated work with artists. So I'm producing for them. I'm also producing for Alyssa the G coming up. That's another single and another 7-track EP. So I'm
Mm,
building over time with artists in the local Bay Area, also looking to work with Babu Blake's out of Texas. I'm looking to work with him, and of course, all the Los Angeles, California collaborations. So over
yeah.
time,
You putting in some work.
I'm putting in overtime. Overtime. It's like and you know, on top of that, you know, you got your grind, your daily hustle. So I'm really, you know, I'm really just busting my butt trying to do so much. Eventually
Yeah.
people maybe tell me to slow down. I'm like, no, I can't. You know, if I want
Can't
something,
slow down.
we gotta work for it. I think
Yeah.
that's the mistake artists make is you let off the steam to say I don't really want it. You're not gonna get it. But if you work for it, if you push for it, you'll get there. You know?
That's real, man. That's real. Let me ask you this, man. We're gonna wrap it up in a minute. How many beats you normally make in a week?
Oh, I usually a week, probably about 3, 4, or 5 a week. A month, I would say about 15. So 15 beats a month. 15 times, I don't know, 15 times. I'm bad at math.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
15
So
times 12.
15 beats a month. So yeah, you're doing about 2 to 3 beats a week.
So 15 times 12 is what? 15 times 12. So it's 12 months to a year.
Like what, 100 or something?
100 beats a year. You know, that's about where I'm at. 100 beats a year. So I've been sampling beats for about sampling records, I should say, for about 6 years. So probably about 600 beats. So that's where I'm at.
And you can make any type of genre beat too, right?
Oh yeah, I've sampled rock records, jazz records, soul records. I've even sampled some experimental records, some folk records. I've even tried to flip Oasis, Champagne Supernova into a beat, just for kicks. It's like you got to explore. I mean, if you limit yourself to one genre, it's like it's boring versus trying to do something outside your comfort zone.
Yeah,
Someone asked me, "Can I flip Beethoven into a beat? Can I flip Sonic the Hedgehog into a beat? Can I flip?" It's like you got to be creative. The last thing I sampled, which I pulled this out, this will shock you.
and look, can you turn them songs into a beat?
Oh yeah, look at this, Sesame Street, stuff like
Wow.
stuff like that. You gotta make yourself. You gotta make
And
yourself
you can
work.
turn it into a beat.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, easily. Probably do it in probably about 15, 20 minutes. Turn it into a beat.
Wow.
See?
Yeah, you
That's
talented, bro. You definitely talented, man.
you gotta do something outside your comfort zone. You gotta be. I
Wow.
use that being the battle. The reason why I made it to the second round, and that was
Yeah,
I
you
sampled.
you should have made it to the second round if you
Oh
used
yeah,
that beat.
Oh yeah, if I use that sample, oh yeah, it was, you know, that's one thing that I try to pride myself on is being creative, being different. I got thousands of records. I got records in my bedroom, in my living room, on the
Yeah.
television stand. You
So
know,
so let me ask you this about the production side because you know now this is the 102 episode. This is the 102nd episode. You my first ever producer to come through the episode.
okay.
So let me ask you this. Yeah, I lost my train I lost my question. Oh, here it is. Do you just go in there and just make the sample, or that sample got to be something somebody asked for personally? Like
Usually,
how does that work?
so with digging, I think that's the question you're asking me is about digging for records. It's like I go in with no intent purpose, and I just go search. I will look for a record, and I'll be like, okay, first of all, I'm like, do I want to sample jazz? Mainly, I sample jazz, soul, or experimental. I'll go look through records. I go look through records, and I look on the back of the record, and I'll find like what instrument is being played on the record. I'll say, is there a saxophone on this? Is there xylophone? Is there who's singing on it? Is it Stevie Wonder? Is it McCoy Tyner playing an instrument? I look for different genres, and I look for different aspects. And once I find something, I might look for a blend with it with another with a vocal, with
Mm,
probably a female vocal artist. Like I'd like to blend jazz with female vocal artists, like a R&B artist or a folk artist, and combine those two, fuse those two, and make it into one beat. Also, I like to sample sounds like just it could be a sound like cows, it could be a sound like pigs, and use that and like diffuse that sample of sound and chop it to the jazz loop.
yeah.
So when people ask me for requests, I can do that, but I like to be creative and say, you know what would that artist sound best over of me sampling? Like what
Mm,
style of music would that artist fit over if I were to sample jazz? Was that artist sound good over a slow jazz loop or a funk jazz loop? Would that artist sound good over a slower soul sample or an upbeat soul sample? That's one
right,
thing that I look at.
right. Okay. So is the sampling hard?
No, no.
Not I mean
And
not for you. You've been doing it for a while.
I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you do it and the way you do it. But I've been sampling for about I would say a good about 7, 8 years.
Wow.
So there's different ways that I sample. There's you use different ways like Serato, like EXS 24 with Logic, like the MPC software, MPC. There's certain ways that I filter samples with the 404. I could chop a sample, with the MPC, put it into Logic, mix it, filter it, master it, chop a vocal sample, use chop. There's some areas
Damn.
where that's the interesting part about it. Is always a challenge with it, and you
Yeah.
gotta you gotta be creative with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha, man. Hey, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. So I'm already knowing you get in there and get locked in. They don't tell them what you might cook up.
Nah, you never know. You never know.
So do you do trap? You sample trap too? You sample trap music too?
Nah, I'm more into boom bap. I'm more
Okay.
my style's more boom bap jazz.
Okay.
More laid back, kind of like early '90s hip hop.
Okay.
So I'm more
But
I'm
you
more
can sample a trap song though. You can do that though.
personally not well. I could, but it's not my cup of
It's
tea
not your cup of
necessarily.
tea. Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
I like being experimental, and I like the old early '90s, like the DJ Premier, Illmatic sound, like sampling Ahmad Jamal. I
Yeah.
like
You
the
can't
'90s.
go you can't go wrong sampling one of those anyway.
Oh no, no, you can't.
Yeah,
There's so many samples on those records. You know,
yeah,
if you sample some classic jazz, you're gonna come up with gold every time. You know, once you
every
loop that,
time.
you come up with gold.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. So look, man, real quick, man, what's next? What's next for the Dras? What's next for you?
Okay, next projects. I just finished a project called Manifestation. It's a 11 track beat tape. Just
Okay,
finished that. Just finished that single with Micah Nine, Third Eye Gems.
okay,
Currently working with Illogic, Alyssa the G on a
okay,
single for her 7 track record. Illogic's out of Ohio. He's a conscious hip hop artist.
okay.
Alyssa the G's out of the Bay Area. She's an underground hip hop artist. We're just work with Mike and I. Just finished Manifestation. What else am I doing? Working with Voltaire Slapadelic on Slapmatic too, and I'm performing with Summer Man and Amani Jade. I'm a busy bee. Performing with Summer Man and Amani Jade on their record they just released last year called The Cookout. So I'm doing multiple projects at once and sampling, doing all types of stuff, making beats and performing. And typically I perform with the SP404 and the Chaos Pad. And I back vocals, I add live effects, I play the
Yeah.
beat, I'm chopping, I'm
Damn.
flipping. Yeah.
So yeah, you a man of multiple hats.
Yeah, I'm producer to the bone. I'm all I and I you know, and my secret is I work as a producer from my job. I'm a video producer, so I'm doing production for video back of house. I'm doing production, music production, about typically back of house. So I'm doing all types of stuff around the around the Bay Area and even across the world.
Man, that's big, man. That's real big. That's big, bro. It's gonna pay off, man. Just keep going. I'm telling you.
Hopefully one day I'll be able to eat well.
Yeah, you will. You will.
Oh
You
yeah.
will, man. You will. Trust me. You will. Just keep going, brother.
All right. All right.
For real, man. Listen, man, I ain't gonna hold. We ain't gonna hold no more, man. This was kind of one of the best ones that I had because it was very, very, very. You had some stuff to talk about. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So yeah, man, I appreciate that. But before we go, I need you to shout out everywhere where you can find your music or whatever you produce or whatever you pushing right now. I need you to shout all that out. Then I need you to shout out all your social media, wherever you can be followed. And then I need you to drop some gems, man, before we go for those producers that they can't get nowhere near what you got going on, man. So drop some gems for them, bro, before we get out of here, bro.
All right, the name is Drasmatic. You can follow me on Instagram at drasmatic.one. I'm on Spotify as Drasmatic. I'm on YouTube as Drasmatic. TikTok, Drasmatic. Anywhere, just type in Google Drasmatic, you'll find me. I have records out entitled with Summer Man, called The Cookout, Voltaire Slapadel, Slapmatic, Beat Tapes, Creation, Intuition, Manifestation. I have all types of singles out with a Micah 9, with Sunspot Jones, with Elronius. I forgot to mention Elronius. My God, I know he's gonna kill me. I have a single out with Elronius and both are Slapadelic. I have a single with coming out soon, hopefully with Logic Alyssa the G. And I am always, out there. Producers tips. That's a good question. I want to use a quote by Ninth Wonder. If you have a loop of a sample, just loop it. Don't try to chop it. Don't try to flip it. Just loop it. It would be so much simpler if you just loop the sample and don't chop the sample up into 15, 20 different parts. Loop the sample.
Loop
Loop
the
the
sample.
sample, loop the drums, loop the bass line. It's that
Yeah,
simple.
yeah. It's just that simple.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, Draz, look, man, I appreciate you for sliding by Chill Talk the podcast, man. This has been one of my best interviews, bro. Like I said, man, I appreciate you coming by, just dropping them jewels off. Make sure y'all go follow him, pull him up. He got so much going on. All I'm gonna say is you just follow him. That way you can keep up with what he got going on.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, look, man, I appreciate you again, bro. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him. Like I said, make sure y'all go pull up all the music. Like he said, I ain't gonna tell you where to go. Just Google Drasmatic. and then you can just pick your poison on what you want to listen to, how you want to hear. That's all you got to do, man. Let's appreciate you, bro, for sliding by, man. We out of here.
Peace.